Good morning, everyone. This is Rita with Restyled Renewed, and I thought I would just come on and show you waxing because I know a lot of people have trouble with waxing. So I'm just going to show you a quick demo again here of waxing. Now this is Annie Sloan chalk paint on this furniture I'm still working on. So I'm going to be waxing it as the sealer for this piece. So I'm using a clear wax, and so Annie Sloan clear wax. So I'll just show you real quick how to wax. Now this has one coat of wax already on it, so it's been 24 hours or 20 hours or something. So I'm going to go ahead and put the second coat of wax on, and this will be enough of a sealer. It doesn't need more than 2 coats of wax. So you just need a little bit of wax on your brush. And I know wax can be very tricky to work with, but I've been working with wax for about 8 years, so I know the ins and outs of the Annie Sloan wax. So the trick is you want to just work in sections. You don't ever want to do a large area because the wax dries very fast. So you only work in small sections, and then you're wiping off the wax. So as I'm wiping, see, I'm buffing too. So that's all I'm going to do is just that section. So then you just move on to your next section. And take off the wax. If you see something, try to take off that piece of hair or lint as you see it. Still there. It's a little piece of hair, I think. So working in sections is the key to this Annie Sloan wax, and I use her wax a lot. This is often the sealer I use because I use a lot of Annie Sloan paint. You know, this is the sealer that I use a lot because I find that it really does seal pieces very well. So I like it as a sealer. So it's going on now to the next section. And normally I say use a white t-shirt, but because this is a blue t-shirt, you know, it's okay. So as you can see, I'm wiping off the excess, and it kind of is buffing. It's kind of buffing as you're wiping off the excess. Now your t-shirt, your rags are going to get full of, hi Anita, I am working on this huge French provincial dresser still, part of the bedroom set. I'm painting for some clients. I think I have 5 of their pieces. So I'm getting near the end, and this is that custom color of Napoleonic blue and graphite, which is turned out to be an amazing color. Kind of a deep navy. I don't know if you can see on camera. Can you recap what you are doing? I'm just applying Annie Sloan clear wax. This is Annie Sloan chalk paint mix. Napoleonic and graphite, and I am sealing it. So yesterday was the first coat of clear wax sealer, and today the first coat has dried. So today I'm coming back and putting on the second coat. This is just clear wax. So we didn't want any aging. She wants a more modern look. So I'm not using any dark wax at all. I'm just sticking with clear wax. And I'm putting on the second coat today. This is just clear wax on a piece of paper plate. And the trick with wax is you have to work in sections. That's very, very important. In fact, I was just on a page this morning somewhere on Facebook, and someone said they're getting tacky feeling on their piece of furniture. What's the problem? The problem is people, you leave the wax on too long, then you're going to get tacky and sticky. So you cannot do that. I can't go and wax this whole side. If I do that, it's gonna be sticky and tacky. You can't get the wax fast, and it takes a long time. The wax dries so fast. If you leave it sitting there too long, it's just going to get tacky, and you can't get the wax off. So that's why it's very, very important to work in small sections. So I've done all this, and I've done this, and now I'm moving on to this section. It's just clear wax, Annie Sloan clear wax. You just put a little bit on your brush. That's all you need. And you put it on. And then you wipe off. It's just an old t-shirt. This is the best. This is the best. The best for wiping off the wax, I find, are old t-shirts. I just go to Goodwill and buy the ones that are 99 cents. I try to get white when I can, because I paint a lot of white furniture for clients, so I buy a lot of white t-shirts. But go to Goodwill or wherever, Salvation Army, and just get t-shirts and cut them up. And really, you do want a really good cotton t-shirt though. You don't want the skimpy, the fabric that feels yucky. You want to get a really thick cotton, and that's the best that I find. Or you can go through your husband's closet and see if he's got some old t-shirts that you do not like anymore, and cut up his old t-shirts. Now, oftentimes you are going to get lint, so don't worry about it. Eventually the lint will come off, but if it's bugging you, you can go and get a sewing needle and take off that, if it's really stuck on there, just grab that piece of hair or lint or something with your needle and take it off. So that's my second coat. You can see, look how good that looks. That's the second coat. I only ever do 2 coats of Annie Sloan wax. I never ever do more than 2 coats. I do not think that her wax needs more than 2 coats. Even in kitchens, I do not put on more than 2 coats. So this is all I'm going to do. I'm going to let it sit, and her wax needs 21 to 30 days to cure, to fully cure. So that's what's going to happen. I'm just seeing if I have another t-shirt here. So here's a drawer. Let me back up a little bit. Here's one of the drawers. I'm going to wax. It's just a little bit of wax. And let's see, make sure you can still see. Can you still see? I'll try to angle it so you can see. So I'm going to start at the top here, and I'm just going to, you're rubbing in the wax. You're not just feathering. You can't just feather. That's not going to do you any good. You are rubbing in the wax. So, I probably need to get a different t-shirt. And now I'm going to wipe off. I'm going to wipe off that section I just did. This is the second coat, so that's enough there. Let me just grab another t-shirt here. This, I don't know if you can tell. Can you see the wax on here? There's a lot of wax on here. Toss it. You're done with that t-shirt. Once the wax builds up like that, you need to get rid of it. And I never ever, wash those. You just toss them into the garbage. There's a ton of wax on there, so you don't want that in your washing machine. So you can see I'm pushing in the wax. And now I'm going to take my rag. And I'm going to wipe off, I hope you can see. I'm going to wipe off the wax. And sometimes, you have to go in different directions to get that wax pushed in. That's okay. But on your final, see, there's the wax. On your final removal, try to go in the section, try to go the way that you painted your piece. So I painted my piece this way. So now I'm trying to do my last removal of wax the same way. I hope you guys can see. So you can see I'm buffing. It's kind of like you're buffing as you are removing the wax, and that is done. Let me see if I can grab another drawer. So whatever hairs are very common. This has been waxed already once. Can you see how nice that looks? And I'm going to wax the second coat. Let me back up a little bit here. This is coat number 2. So wax that little bit and then go and remove the wax. Now, you can mix a little bit of mineral spirits into your wax. You don't really need it with the clear wax, but with the dark wax, I do mix a tiny bit of mineral spirits into the dark wax. If I wanted to age this piece, then I would use dark wax, but we didn't want to age it. So working with dark wax, I do add a little bit of mineral spirits because the wax is harder, so just a teeny bit of mineral spirit softens your wax and makes it easier to work with and easier to go on. And I do a lot of mixing of waxes, 50-50, 70-30, depending on the how much aging I want done to the piece. Make sure you can see here. Oh goodness, I got too much over here. So you can see there's a lot of wax. A lot of wax comes off, which is what you want. You don't want the wax to stay on there, or the excess. And the reason why I use a lot of wax is because I think it's a very strong sealer. A lot of people don't like wax, which that's totally fine. But I think wax is a very, very good sealer. So this is a huge one. This is a huge piece. I don't even know know if the camera is gonna, I don't think the camera is gonna get it all. Try to back up a little bit here. So the bigger piece just means, you know, you want to try to go the length of your piece to wax if you can. So a little bit on. That's how much is on my brush. And now I'm going to remove that wax. There we go. Now on to the next section. A little bit of wax. Now, when I did my first coat of wax yesterday, you know, you can go every which way. If you want to go in circles, you can. But on my final coat of wax, I try to stay the same way that I painted the piece. My phone just did a noise. And then, so you're trying to put it on the same way, and you want to take it off the same way. Hopefully you guys can see. So you can see as I'm putting it, as I'm taking off the wax, I am buffing. And then once your second coat sits for 24 hours, you can go back and do some buffing, and that's kind of your final push of the wax into your piece. And you can just do a quick buffing. The more you buff, the shinier your piece is going to get. So if I wanted this to have like a high gloss look, then I would just buff and buff and buff, and it's going to give you a high gloss look. But I don't want a high gloss. In fact, I don't really like that look, so I rarely go back and do a high gloss look. So the more you buff, the more it's going to be shiny. I did the sides. I can't remember. Let me just quickly do the sides. So just a tiny bit on your brush. You have to see the wax. You can't, I mean, there has to be enough on there that you're seeing the wax go onto your piece of furniture. And you know, these brushes, can you see the hair there is coming off? These natural bristle brushes, you know, the hairs fall off like crazy. So you just have to pick them off. Pay attention if you're painting with chalk paint. Pay attention and try to get off your hair as soon as you see it, so it doesn't leave a mark. Okay. So that's it. It's not too hard. It's time consuming, definitely, very time consuming, but it's doable. It's a tough sealer. Wax is a very tough sealer, so that's why I like to use it. But anyways, that's it. I just wanted to show you a little bit of how to wax, and I do sell a tutorial if you want to buy it. So if there's any questions, just leave them in the comments and I will answer them. Thanks, you guys.